Hey guys, welcome back to another beekeeping video, and in this video I'll be showing you how to inspect a hive for beginners. So if you're a beginner and you're learning how to inspect a hive and you wanted a little help, this video is just for you. So I've lit my smoker here. Nice. First of all, you want nice warm smoke. Nice warm smoke. That's the first thing you're going to want to have, and you're going to want to bring some spare fuel because it often goes out during an inspection. So if you have a plastic hive, never put the smoker on the top. That's generally what I don't do, because sometimes if the smoker is really hot on the bottom, then it will melt the hive. So I'm going to move these wasp traps here. And first of all, if the smoke is blowing towards the hive, then move it onto the other side, because you don't want the smoke blowing in your face, blowing at the bees when you don't want it to. So I just moved it to there for now. You can see it's just sat there just now. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to lift up the brick, the wood, whatever you want to call it. When you inspect a hive, you want to be at the back of the hive. So the entrance is here, as you can see, and I'm going to be at the back. I don't want to be in their flight path because I'll disturb the bees and I'll make them, more agitated. So when I inspect, I want to take my smoker, and you can see here it's got nice bellows of smoke coming out, and I'm just going to puff the entrance a bit. That is to let them know that I am here. That's merely to say, hi, I'm coming in now. I am here inspecting this hive. So I lift off the lid. And as you can see, I have a feeder on this one, so I'm going to want to remove this whole crown board. So I'm not going to disturb the feeder, it's empty anyway. I'm just going to lift up the whole crown board. And I'm going to put it down, and when you put it down, you want to put it down diagonally so that it's like that. See, this one's like that and this one's like that, so like so. As you can see here, I don't have a super on this hive. I only have a brood box. You can see I'm still at the back. I'm nice and calm. I'm all kitted up. I've got the gloves, I've got everything. So when I see here, we've got lots of bees on the queen excluder, and they're not bothering me at all. So I might give them a little puff. Puff your smoker every now and then to make sure it's going well. You can see they react to the smoke, and they instantly go down into the hive. What the smoke does is, the theory is, it makes them think their hive is on fire. They have to collect resources to make a new hive somewhere else, and then that makes them more docile, because when you've had a big meal, you're kind of a bit more docile. So as you can see here, I've got a plastic queen excluder. It's not really any different. I normally pick up two corners, and then I twist it round. You want to twist it round and lift up. And what you want to do is you want to check to see if the queen is on the queen excluder, because if you put it down and she falls off, then you're going to need a new queen, or if she dies or flies away or something like that. I can see that the queen isn't on here, so I can put this down like this, like that. So as you can see, this hive is moderately full, and I might give it a little smoke just now, just to calm them down and let them know I'm here. Just not too much, just a bit, to remove them from the top bars. These are the top bars. Just remove them from the side handles to make sure you have easy access. You can see this hive is quite full. It's not bursting with bees, but there's a decent amount, okay? So that's all good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hive tool. I have a J-hooked hive tool. I'm going to take this and merely put it in there and lever that out. Be careful not to squish any bees, because then they won't like that, and that won't be good for you or the bees. So then I take it on the other side, I push the bee out the way, and I gently lever it up. On the first frame, you've got to take it out really, really carefully to make sure that the queen is not there. And you don't want to roll the queen, so you don't want to squish her at all. So as you can see, I took this frame out very, very carefully. Now when you assess a frame, you might see this is quite an old frame, but there's a lot of bees on here, which shows me that the colony is in good health. There are lots of bees, and that tells me that, they're getting ready to go into winter. And this frame feels quite heavy, okay? So it's full of nectar, so I shouldn't be turning it like that. I should turn it like that to avoid the nectar falling out. So I can see that there's a bit of a flow on, or the nectar from my feeder is being stored. You can see the nectar in those honeycomb cells. And what I do with the first frame is I merely put down my hive tool and I pick it up, and I have a small ledge here, so I can just put it on that ledge there. Some people have a frame kind of holder on the edge of their hive, but I can just put it on the very edge. I can see the wind direction has changed, so I'm going to want to move this to the other side so it doesn't smoke out the bees when I don't want it to. So that's been moved now. Now what I can see is lots of bees. I can see they look healthy. They don't look like they've got any viruses or anything. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my hive tool and I'm merely just going to lever this like so, just so I can unstick these frames. And as you can see, I've got all my gloves on, I'm fully protected, and I'm just going to carefully pick up this frame. I always have my hive tool in my hand, and I'm just going to carefully pick it up and pull it out. Now as you can see, I can see nectar in these cells. So that tells me that they've eaten all their sugar syrup and they're starting to store it ready for winter. There are lots of bees. That's always a good sign. Lots of bees means a healthy population. Now the queen could be gone. We haven't seen any eggs yet. Eggs will verify the existence of the queen. So what we're going to do is just carefully unstick these frames and pull them out carefully, and we're just going to do this until we've gone through every frame. So we're just going to gradually go through and go through. So I've seen some brood. I can see the brood under the bees. That tells me that the queen has been here in the last 20 or so days. So that's good. There's the brood. I haven't seen any eggs yet, so the queen could easily be dead. She might not be here at all, so we don't know anything for sure yet. All the time I am looking for the queen. This queen is marked. She has a little red dot on her back. Now later in the year, in August kind of time, it gets more difficult to see the queen because they have a higher population and more bees on top of bees. So I'm just going to pick this up and I'm just going to ease it out. And I might give them a smoke just now because they're kind of in the way. You can see they instantly react to that smoke and they've moved away. So now I can pick up the frame more easily. And as you can see, lots of bees. I might have no hope of finding the queen. All I want to see on this inspection is lots of eggs. I haven't seen any eggs yet. She could be dead. She might not be here. We can't verify anything. This is a frame of nectar, which is odd because next to it there's a frame of brood. So if you're not happy with the way the frames are in the brood box, you can rearrange them. So you can bring this nectar one to the edge. Because in a beehive, naturally, the honey is stored to the edge of the brood box so that bees can access it on the very edge. So this frame's a bit sticky, so I might get my hive tool this time. Just unstick it, pull it out. Be careful when you pull it out. There's lots of bees on here, lots of nectar. They're backfilling it with nectar. That's not always a good thing, but hopefully we should be all right. Hopefully we should find the queen sometime soon. You know, we've only done 5 frames rather. So, you know, the queen could be anywhere. She could be at the very last frame. She could be on this frame. She could be anywhere, okay? So, we just carefully unstick these frames. You want to carefully do it. If you're a beginner, you're going to want to do movements slowly like this. Draw out the frame slowly so that you don't squish any bees. because bees do not like being squished, okay? So I still haven't seen the queen, so I haven't seen actually nectar. Okay, I've seen eggs, so we have a queen here in the last 3 days. Eggs doesn't mean we have a queen, it just means we've had a queen here in the last 3 or so days. So that's good news, so that's all well. Now this hive is bubbling over the top because I've just condensed them down, which means I've taken off the super. So they had a super with extra space, so I've just taken that off, which means that they now have less space for the same amount of bees. So I'm just going to carefully pull this frame out. I'm going to carefully look around for the queen. Now we have brood and we have eggs. So we have lots of eggs, lots of brood, and I'm just going to carefully look around. We have lots of emerging brood, so that's good. So we have lots of eggs in that honeycomb. So I'll try and get the camera into a position to show you. So there are eggs in there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but in those gaps there are eggs. There are eggs in here, there's brood, there's lots of bees. So eggs tell me the queen has been here recently. She's been laying this box up. That's all well. So now I'll look on the other side. And you can balance the frame like that on the other frames. Just be careful it doesn't slip down. So I can't see the queen anywhere, but I haven't got much hope because there are bees upon bees, okay? It's very difficult to see the queen in these kind of conditions. The bees are everywhere, you can see. There's not much space for me to put my hands in, so I'm going to get my smoker. Oh, and whoops, I've forgotten. I have realised that my smoker's gone out. So I am now going to get go and get some extra fuel and redo it. So as you can see here, I've now got a completely relit smoker. It's very smoky, very nice warm smoke. Now I'm just going to smoke them a bit. Maybe a bit too much there, but so now you can see I've cleared the bees off. So what I'm going to do is gently lever the frames apart, and now I can lift it up very easily. I can see bees with pollen on their legs coming in. That shows me that, you know, fresh pollen's coming in. I still haven't seen the queen, although look at the number of bees. It's going to be difficult to see the queen. And I found her. Shouldn't have said that, should I? I found our beautiful queen. She's laying, she's here, and she looks great. There she is. She's got a red dot on. She's beautiful. She's here. So what we found in this inspection is the queen's here. They're not trying to swarm. Fresh pollen is being stored down there. There are eggs. There's lots of brood. There's lots of bees. There's nectar being stored. We don't need to inspect any further because we've seen that the queen is here. We've seen all is well. This colony is thriving. Now what I'm going to do is put my hive tool down here and gently lever each side. So I'm going to do that on this side too, and gently lever it. See, I haven't levered it into it because there are bees there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to gently with my thumb push it and make sure that the bees don't get stuck. Sometimes you can blow the bees out of your way if you haven't got your smoker on you. And on here I'll do the same. I'll just gently push the frames in. There's a bee that's got stuck, so I'll just undo that frame a bit, and now I can push it in safely without any bees getting stuck or squished. So now what I'm going to do with this frame, so I'm going to gently put this frame back in. Don't forget this frame. I have sometimes forgotten this frame, and sometimes I have accidentally put the hive back together and realised, oh, I've missed a frame. So you can see I'm going down very gently. I'm giving the bees time to move. I'm not forcing it down. So now our inspection is not finished. We still have to, sorry, there's a bee on the camera. We still have to put the queen excluder back on. So now we've verified that there's a queen, and we've got 5 frames of brood, which I counted. You normally always count the brood, the stores, the pollen, etc. So I always write down in my notes, and I'll do this later, I'll say queen 6 because she has a tag on her which tells me it's queen 6, and I'll say has 5B for 5 brood, has 5 stores and 2 kind of semi-empty, semi-pollen frames. So I'll write that down in my notebook. I'll write down that we've seen the queen and all is well, we've seen eggs. So that is our inspection finished. We've just inspected that hive. It's not difficult to inspect a hive. Now I'm just going to smoke them a bit to send them down a bit. Nice bit of smoke so I can put on the lid without crushing any. So now I'm just going to gently ease this bit on, like so. Everyone will say on this video, oh, you didn't twist your lid. Mine's a rebated edge, which means I can't twist it. See, I've got lots of bees on here. I'm just going to shake those off. They'll fly off. See, they're all flying around. And now I can put on the lid, okay? So I can easily put this on and put it on very carefully. So that's our inspection over. And I've always got to remember to put black back on this block to make sure that the lid doesn't fly off. And I'll replace my wasp traps over here, like so. See, they're all interested in that wasp trap, all the wasps. So what we've verified in this video is that we now have a queen. We have a queen in this hive. We have 5 or 6 brood, I can't remember. I think it's 6 brood. We have 6 brood, we have eggs, we have stores, and we have everything else. So there's pollen coming in, there's fresh pollen coming into this hive, there's fresh pollen coming into that hive, and into all my other ones along here. So we've done a bit of a verification. I don't need to inspect this hive for another week now. So I've verified that they have stores, brood, queen, eggs. That's all you really need to do in an inspection, except for in the kind of prime swarming months, in which time you might look avidly for queen cells. You can see all the other bees are just fanning back the other bees. I hope you learned how to inspect a beehive in that video. Just key points are carefully go through the frames, look for the queen at all times, look for the eggs, be careful with the frames, don't drop them, just be very slow movements, and you should be well. Use smoke when you need it, and that should all be good. So I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel and helps me continue doing these beekeeping videos for you.